Okay, so I'm going to use the clarinet here as an example. Boom, we are live, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Venture capital is one of the ways that you can easily accumulate a massive amount of wealth. And I feel that the best example that I have in my life is something like music. So I can play pretty much any instrument you give me, but I'm going to use the clarinet as an example. Now, when I first got the clarinet, I actually was playing it upside down. Yeah, that's right. I had this part turned up this way. First off, that's not how you play it. The second thing I was doing wrong, you're gonna like this story. I was playing with my left hand, and see all these notes down here? I couldn't quite get to them with my left hand. I kept thinking to myself, whoever designed this instrument is moronic. Like, what kind of stupid shit is this? Now, I've actually been playing the native flute for a bunch of years, so it doesn't matter how you put your hands, right hand, left hand first. And then it took about a few months, and then all of a sudden I realized, oh shit. If I put my right hand here, I can really easily grab these notes. And investing is one of these very complex things, trading assets like an instrument where you have all these buttons, levers, crazy sounds, and sometimes lights if you include them. And it can become very distracting as to what the purpose is, which is to come up with something valuable within an expression. So in venture capital, investing, these complex situations, I feel, is much like music, and often the mistakes we're making are really easy to fix. So when you first start playing a new instrument, you're going to get things wrong. You should always compensate for that idea. The realization that the things that are going to go wrong first are you making bad noises, which in this case is often losing money. So how do we help you as the individual go through that process? Well, I've made those mistakes, and one of the things I can tell you that's worked the best is really this kind of simple thesis investment strategy, which is that over time, governments around the world, regardless of religion or culture or background, they've all destroyed currencies, the underlying principal kind of economic vessel of interest between individuals. And the only things that were really held any value at those points are assets. Our general asset thesis is, if the currency is being degraded, I want to own everything that's not currency. Holding on to large amounts of currency is like a bad idea, right? So most of the time we get caught in a cycle of making sure the currency that we have, we are spending on the things that we need to a day-to-day life, misunderestimating the value of maybe just say like a $200 a month investment, $1,000, a $10,000, a $100,000 a month investment, whatever really suits your budgetary needs at that moment, and looking at investing rather than a dollar standpoint, but as a value thesis. So here's where things get interesting. Like an instrument, much of what you want to practice on a day-to-day basis is rather rudimentary. It would be things like reading, researching, listening, digesting content that is basically in the same area of interest that you follow to, which is probably why you're on this channel. So we have a list here of things we're focused on just this month alone. General investment, things like Avocado Guild, Rainmaker, Decimated, Illumia, Solus, Xzone, Ethless, and what you will recognize from all these is they generally fall within the metaverse sector. They're all crypto related. And there's a reason for that. It means that the rudimentary process that we practice in the drum kit or on On the clarinet, it would be like right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, or just like syncopated variations of technical finger movements. So as we make these syncopated investments, these consistent entries into the market, looking for the highest return for the least amount of risk, we stumble into this really easily repeatable thesis. And this is what I've been trying to share with everyone along all these episodes, is that the thesis itself, like what investment we're making, like Decimated, for instance, congratulations on their launch recently, had a 20x from their IDO, up at around currently a 10x. That's all a symptom and a side effect from getting the rudimentary process of research, reading, listening, finding the things we're interested in that have the most amount of upside for the copacetic little risk we want to put on the table, and to play that game. This is how I found Bitcoin, and one of the things I think that's most important is that when you take this into account, investing becomes a day-over-day type of meditation. And instead of trying to rush to get to the end, you should find enjoyment in the process. I think that, for me, this has been one of the funnest places to find, because, and again, this is the fun part about the strategy. No matter where you are in your wealth generation cycle, whether you can invest $10 a month or $10 million a month, wherever you are in your wealth cycle, this strategy will work. And that is so important. So although the details of like, okay, we want to invest in play-to-earn games that have a broad spectrum potential of working, they're built on Solana, we're looking at functions in the DeFi and Avalanche space. These are all technical details. The rudimentary process is to kind of run this game like you would a mantra. I don't know if any of you happen to like meditation or yoga, but it's a repetition of any particular cycle that makes you better at it. And too often when people show up to the market, they think, haha, I'm super smart. I am going to figure out the market. I will be the first person to do so. Totally missing how we started this video. The fundamental thesis is that these governments, again, regardless of culture, borders, and what age, like thousands, we have thousands of spheres of data of these people doing the exact same thing, which is destroying currency. The degradation of how we transfer value to one another ends up taking place through these fiat systems. And what's interesting here is that the evolution of the digital world is giving us this glimpse into the upside potential of what we didn't have before. There was no a possibility for you to participate in the early rounds of Twitter, but that might be the case now. So, because we're looking for adaptations in the upside to wealth, the rudimentary process of showing up, investing, even if it's small amounts of money every month, can yield massive results. If you want to find the quickest way to make millions of dollars, it's by investing in the right ideas. And sometimes that means you're going to get them wrong, but always to keep investing. Don't get caught off guard. Even for the first few years, you should probably just focus on accumulating. Selling and taking profits is almost not even what you want to do with your portfolio. Now, technically, yes, when you want to diversify, I like owning land, I like owning businesses, they keep me busy. I like working outside, so I have a land that has a little waterfall on it. You do you, right? I like to keep playing music, so I invest in that. But this rudimentary process, this day-to-day showing up, no matter what investment it is, whether it's me playing the clarinet or learning how to play a more eclectic instrument like the oud, it's really just about a process of learning and realizing that I'm going to make mistakes. So how do I make sure the downside to those mistakes is very limited? And then every time that I show up and make an investment and the downside is I can only sound silly, or at least in music, then I've got something I can repeat for decades to come. Again, it's hard to recognize, but had you only invested just a little bit of money every month into pretty much any crypto, you would have done very well. So don't ignore the thesis. The price movements, the volatility, that's going to happen all the time, and it's very emotionally draining, and it actually is what gets rid of most people from the markets to begin with. So just remove all that, show up day to day. Oh my God, the prices are going up, they're going to go down, there's a thing over here, and a little block in the volume. And we look at the technical charts to make sure we have confidence in the long-term perspective of how we do our day-to-day investing. If there's a bear market, a bull market, you can pretty much just keep investing. but we want to make sure we're getting the most accurate representation of how investing comes across, which means that although these charts can be emotional, it's good to know where we are in the market. We're about halfway through the market cycle. Maybe we're at the end of it. Either way, we're not at the beginning of it. So it's not as exciting as it was back in August of 2020. But these things repeat. They will continue to repeat for as long as you're alive. So know that once you've got it figured out, you're golden. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, it was T with the Arcane Bear. Thought we'd try something different today. Let me know if you liked these videos. Give us the thumbs up if you like the content. I'm going to be jumping out on the road, doing a little bit of travel again, it looks like, soon too, so that's pretty exciting, which means this is me gearing up to try to do that at the same time. So I'll just say it again, for those of you that are interested in the technical details: Avocado Guild, Rainmaker, Decimated, Illumia, Solus, Zone, and Ethless, those are all currently on our kind of research board. We like long-term investing. And if you can follow that thesis, I think you guys are going to do I think you're all going to do really, really, really freaking well. Anyways, we'll see you on the next episode.